It appears I am lactating. Back on the Bibbulmun Track. It is 7:41 a.m. and I am just outside Collie. My lovely partner dropped me off, and this section will be 4 days through to Bibbulmun, about 94 kilometers I think to Bibbulmun. Yep. After a ridiculously foggy morning travelling down to Collie, I hit the Bibbulmun Track ready for another section. It was late September, and once again rain had come and spring was here. Time for another merry stroll through the bush. Before too long, I'd rocked up on the banks of the Collie River. Waterside hiking galore would feature heavily on this section. If it wasn't 17 degrees maximum, I'd have stopped for a swim. That's a pretty epic ladder. I love moss. It's beautiful and gives the forests an almost ancient-like quality. Because the forests were getting thicker, damper, and typically wetter than the northern sections of the track, I was surrounded by moss for most of the hike. It was moss enjoyable. Yep, that was a pun. As I trekked out of Collie and into Mumballup State Forest, I realised how empty my mental tank had been recently. The silence allowed me to think and calm myself. Not that I was unhappy, I just felt like the forest was giving me a recharge of my mental batteries. Like many times before, I was genuinely surprised at the fact I had not seen another person since my partner had dropped me off, some 13 or 14 kilometers ago. I imagine that in a few years when I do the PCT or even the AT in the States, the camaraderie will feature heavily. But for now, the Bibbulmun, at times, can be a largely solitary experience if you wish it to be so. I won't lie, I'd started hiking not feeling 100%. Not COVID, but I think I was getting a flu. By about 2 p.m, I'd started slowing down and feeling a bit tired. Camp sounded mighty good right about now. Sometimes you just need a rest. We have the first decent hill. Bibbulmun. That's the name that's been escaping me. This explains the little spur trail on all the maps. I reached Bibbulmun quite early and was greeted by a friendly brother and sister from New South Wales. We chatted around the camp, but before long I was crashing and needed a rest. Boy, did I hope I felt better in the morning. My morning rituals were usually the same on track. Stare at the top of my tent, gauging what time it was, realising I needed to pee, but knowing how cold it was. Packing my tent, packing my bag, filling up on water, and usually only grabbing a small oat bar or the like to scoff down as I treated my water and looked at the terrain ahead of me on the map. I'd be in for a treat today. Lunch at the Mumballup pub was my goal. The Bibbulmun takes you to the western shore of Glen Mervyn Dam. The dam is a popular spot for water skiing, fishing and swimming. For me, it was the perfect spot to soak my feet, eat some dried fruit and wait out a bit as the Mumballup pub wasn't too far and I was walking a bit faster. I'd woken up feeling much better and with a bit of warmth from the sun felt like I'd kicked the cold from yesterday. Perhaps it was my inner monologue commanding my body to hold itself together. Following the dam, I passed about a dozen campsites, full of caravans, and people enjoying the long weekend. I imagined during summer this place would be packed. Perhaps one day I'd come back for a camping trip. For now though, I was content to skim around the place, listening to my podcast on the idea and construction of the Statue of Liberty. Schnitzel was on my mind as I approached Mumballup. And maybe a pint of ginger beer if they had it on tap. Perhaps some sneaky chips too, with peppercorn sauce on the side. My world was then torn asunder. My schnitzel was ripped from my dreams. My ginger beer evaporated from existence. The Mumballup pub was closed. This is the saddest sign I've ever seen. Back up lunch, I suppose. Seriously, I had no hard feelings. As I sat eating my tuna, staring at the pub and the dozen or so vehicles that pulled up excitedly, only to see the same sign, I was glad my neurotic, over-planning past self had packed a few extra meals.